Test, test, test. Stop. It's not working. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it is. It's working. It's working. All right. Check it out. Check it. Oh, wait. No, damn it. Here. Title screen. There we go. Good morning, and welcome to yet another episode of Red Stone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiro. Hello, bon voyage. All right, hey, bon voyage. Yeah, baba. I added on to the section. I added on to the city, to the village. That is, I don't know, the lighthouse? I don't know. Like, not a very good lighthouse. but it's a lighthouse, I guess. Because it looks like a lighthouse. But not really, right? Because, oh wait, hold on, I gotta do this. Select stream. Refresh. That one. Excellent! That's the commandment, right? Be excellent to each other. That's funny. Be excellent to each other. I mean, that's great. Oh yeah, hey. So like, go Ukraine. Go Ukraine. So, yeah, hey, let me like great, right? This is great. I made the village look a lot nicer. And I also, what I did is I built them rooms. I built them rooms and beds and like an apartment or something. Like what? Everybody has a place to live. Everyone's got a bed. Everyone's got a job. Everybody. Like. So it got fixed. Remember, like, they were all crammed up on the roof, and like no one would go to their beds, and then they would make children and golems endlessly, and then who knows what would happen to the villagers? Who knows? But yeah, eventually all of them, like, I worked it out so that they would all like go to bed and go to work and all that other good stuff. Like, they can do it now. They don't need to. They don't need to just mill about aimlessly. So good, right? Good. I chopped down the trees that were on my hill, in anticipation that I would build something on top of it. But then I'm looking at it and I'm like, I can't really build anything on top of this hill. Like I started making an elevator and everything. But then when I got to the spot where I was gonna make the hill, I'm like, well, let's see. I can't really do anything, right? I would have to chop down the whole hill. I would have to chop down the whole hill, or I would have to like hollow out the inside of it. But then I would just bit by bit replace the hill with my own building. So at that point, why even keep the hill? Just delete the whole hill. Then at that point, why even build on top of the hill? Just go build it in another open spot. You don't even have to remove a hill then. So I'm kind of stuck. Maybe I should just replant the trees. Speaking of which, Donald Trump has opened up all the national parks to be logged. He wants to chop down our trees. He wants to chop down our trees because he started a trade war with Canada. Like, he is the stupidest guy ever. He is the stupidest MF ever. It's like, it's like, I'm breaking up with my girlfriend, and to show you how much it doesn't matter, I'm gonna cut my face. How do you like that? Do you like that now? I can do the other side too. That's how much I don't care. Like, what are you doing? Why would you cut your own face? But that's what Donald Trump wants to do. Like, I don't know how much social media can be trusted. I mean, probably not at all, right? Not at all. You can't trust the comments from people because maybe they're real, maybe they're not. Maybe they're trolling. Maybe there's a Russian guy over in St. Petersburg in an office with with 300 sock puppet accounts that all he has to do is press a button and the AI will like have it respond to whatever comment he writes as whatever person he writes as. I don't know. So, but I tried talking, like, if I assume that at least half of the people commenting are real, then it looks pretty bad. Like, as in, Americans don't really know how to navigate the information world. Like, because the information world is a world just like every other world, right? You're in it, whether you know it or not. And they get tricked really, really easily in the information world. It's really easy. So I took my own advice, right? And I tried to talk to a white person. I tried to talk to someone on the other side. I'm going to show you what it was like. So here's a Facebook thing. So you look at the very, very top, and it says, House Democrats visiting Southern California border face backlash from Republicans. So for them, it's a problem. For them, the Republicans are saying, oh, it's a bad thing that the Democrats are going to the border. And then I said, remember when American Nazis were bashing Dems for not going to the border? That's the thing with Nazis. If you appease them, they just make new demands. You can't appease Nazis. And then Donna Gray, who is apparently a white person. Did I keep her thing? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Before I do that, let me kill that one first and then do this one. Then Donna Gray shows up, right? Donna Gray. This is her Facebook thing. So she looks like, that's kind of looks like a real family, a real deal. Like, it kind of looks like Donna Gray's real. So I'm gonna go back to here, and Donna Gray says, remember when Biden, in the first few months of his presidency, named Kamala the new... she types it, Kamala! Like, I don't know. I don't know why she does it like that. But she named Kamala the new border czar, and she was supposed to visit the border. She did not until early fall of 2024, right before she lost the election. And I should have kept the rest of it. I didn't realize it. And then I said, no, I don't remember when Biden named Kamala Harris the border czar, because he didn't. He never named her border czar, right? Her job wasn't to go to the border. I mean, just look this shit up. It's so easy. Look it up. Just look it up. He didn't name her to border czar. He didn't command her to go down to the border. She was tasked to find out why they are coming to the United States. Why? Think about it. Just stop. Just think about it. Imagine you, right? Like, I'm talking to the white Americans right now. Imagine your life became so bad that you had to leave your country, your family and your friends, and your everything. How bad would it have to be for you to leave your whole country behind and go to another country where apparently the people don't like you? The government's trying to get you. Not as bad as the place you're in right now, but because it's making you leave, right? But pretty bad, right? You'd have to, if you're gonna leave with nothing on foot, well, yeah, pretty much on foot, to cross thousands of miles to go to another country where you don't even speak the language and you don't have a proper visa because you're going to try to claim asylum. Like, how bad does it have to be in your own home country before you do that? Do you ever wonder why? Like, why do they come to the United States? Why? Why? Why would they do it? Did you ever think about it? So Kamala Harris went down there and checked it out and said, yeah, these 3 countries are sending migrants because, number 1, their government's unstable. Number 2, climate change has fucked up their, climate change has messed up their environment so that they can't plant crops. It's either too wet or too dry. It's not enough to like actually grow food and survive on. So it's like, oh, if I can't grow food to survive on, I gotta leave. And it's like really violent. There's gangs and crime and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty bad. That's why they leave. Like, imagine why you would leave your home and your family to go to a place where you don't speak the language. Imagine, just try. Okay, so she already has this idea in her head that it's a false thing, right? She's gonna overlook. Well, here, I'm gonna put something in her face. I said, no, I don't remember when Biden named Kamala Harris the border czar. Right now, Donald Trump is kidnapping people and sending them overseas with no due process. Republicans are Nazis. You even wear the sign of Magog on your heads. And then I show a video of a Nazi group marching, and then Elon Musk as he does his Nazi salute, right? One's a Nazi group. Here, let me see. One of them's a Nazi group, and the other one is Elon Musk. So they both do and it's a video, right? It's a video. They both do the Nazi salute. And I said, so what about your dudes? Eh? What about your dudes? I'm like, what about the Nazis that you got going on there? And what does she say? She's like, oh, look, people on my side are doing Sig Heils. What does she say to that? Here, let me see it. Can I move it up? Back up. And zoom in right here. Well, you can't. All right, anyways. She says, oh, so you're showing me a sign of my people doing a Nazi sign. Well, I included a screenshot of the announcement from Biden via the Associated Press announcing Harris as the border czar, which she never went to the border, ever. That is, until right before the election. The actual Nazi salute does not start at the heart. Check it out. Check it out right here. You see Nazis, actual Nazis, doing the Nazi salute? Oh, look where their hand is. Oh, look where his hand is. Oh, look. Here, let me show you the video. Ah, shut up. Shut up. But did you see that? Did you see that shit? Did you see that? Look it. Bop. Bop. Right? He's a fucking Nazi. He's a fucking Nazi. It's clear as day. But this white woman, Donna Gray, denies it. She's like, what they just did, they don't do. Because Donna Gray is a Nazi expert. And then what is the thing that she said? What? Wait. She said, I included a screenshot of the announcement from Biden announcing Harris as the border czar. Oh, did you? Did you do that? Where's it at? Did I save it? Yeah. So that's the screenshot she gave, right? From the Associated Press. And it says, Biden taps VP Harris to lead response to border challenges. I don't see anywhere where it says Biden announced her as border czar. So she lied. She fucking lied. She can't even read her own stuff. And she can't see the Nazis doing the Nazi salute. She can't see it. She's a white woman. I'm trying to talk to her, right? Trying to break through to her. And she absolutely is just blind. Can't see anything. So then I continue. And I pointed out to her, I don't see the words border czar. Republicans are Nazis. It's okay that you can't see what everyone else clearly sees. Think about how Germans didn't understand the Nazi Party. The regime kidnapped people and took them overseas with no due process. Can you even process it? And then I show a video of Elon Musk, Steve Bannon, and a Mexican actor at CPAC. These guys are at CPAC. They all do the Nazi salute. So there's 2 videos I've shown her of the whole Republican Party doing fucking Nazi salutes. Right? So I've shown this white woman 2 videos. Oh, wait a minute. Look it. Right? They're fucking Nazis. They're Nazis. They're Nazis. I've shown her 2 videos now. 2 videos. She is stuck on the word border czar from Biden's and ignores the fact that, oh, the Constitution is being violated right now. There's no due process. There's no proof. There's no evidence. There's no nothing. But she has racism inside her. So she can't see it. She cannot see it. Because the people being deported in her racist mind are the right people to be removed because they're not white. And they're enemies of the state, and the state is now controlled by Donald Trump. Therefore, they're good, according to her like fucked up mind. So she can't even see this shit. Look how she's fixated. And like she shows me a screenshot, and it doesn't say what she says it says. She doesn't even read it. Can't even read it. And then, so do you think that matters to her? She doubles down. She says, this is from the Hill publication. No, Republicans are not Nazis. Just like Democrats are smart. What? So she shows a screenshot. She's like, there, read that one. If you can read it, Democrats will not be able to erase that. Yeah, let's look at it. Where's that? From the Hill. Oh. Why is it still up? Here, kill that one. That one. Oh no, you didn't see what I said. Oh, maybe you did. So yeah. So she does the Hill, and what does the Hill say? The Hill is an opinion piece. So the opinion writer called Harris the border czar. So she's citing an opinion piece as a reason to get angry at the Biden administration and ignore the Nazi salutes and the violation of due process and due rights and your human rights. She totally ignores that in order to fixate on what an opinion writer said like years and years ago. Well, a year ago. You can't, I can't talk to them, right? I tried talking to this person, and she's in her own world. Right? There's no interlapping between our worlds. Like, I looked at her stuff, and all her stuff was bunk. She ignored what I showed her. She would not see it. She just ignored it. She just ignored it. How do you talk to someone like that? Yeah, she just ignored it. Well, she didn't ignore it. She apologized for it. She saw it and had an excuse to cover it up. Even though the excuse was bullshit. She's all, you see that thing they're doing? Yeah, Nazis do that. You see the thing that the Nazis are doing? Yeah, Nazis don't do what the Nazis are doing. It hurts my head. Yeah, it hurts my head. Like, I can't deal with these people. Like, if you try to have an in-person conversation, it's even worse. Oh my god, it was terrible. So yeah, a lot of what they do is called false equivalence. False equivalence is the idea, is the fallacy where you try to equivalate two different things, equivocate. You try to make equal two things that are different and therefore not equal. For example, it's like comparing apples to oranges, right? The orange says, "Oh, we're both fruit, so that makes us the same." And the apple says, "No." You're comparing apples to oranges. Just because an orange and an apple are fruit doesn't mean they're the same thing. But the Nazis do that all the time. Like, so for example, I'll have a picture of I'll do that video of Elon Musk doing the Nazi salute. And then they'll throw up a picture. They won't say anything that they won't be like, "Oh, what a bad Nazi salute." They won't say that. They won't say that. What they do is they show a picture of liberals raising, like, doing a wave. They show a picture of liberals doing a wave, and they say, "Oh, you may have a video of my guys doing a Nazi salute, but I have a picture of your guys with their arms outstretched." They're the same thing. But they're not. They're not. They're not. There's no video of them because it's not a Nazi salute. If it were a video, you would see right away it's not a Nazi salute. But they don't even care that their guys are doing Nazi salutes. All they want to do is make false equivalence and say, "Oh, your guys are Nazis too, look." You can't talk to these people. You can't talk to them. They're not there to be convinced. They're already convinced in their heads. They can't see anything you put in front of them. They'll show you things that contradict their own statements, but they can't see it. They've lost their rational mind. They're not able to reason anymore. They're looking at the shadows. Like, you know Plato's cave? They're chained up, looking at the wall and arguing over which shadow is real. And unfortunately, they won the last election. People like that won the last election. That kind of American, white women, voted majority for Donald Trump. And that's why we have idiocracy. What? What's going on? Oh shit. There's a bad guy out there trying to shoot me. That's like Russia, right? That guy is Russia. So I can say, I want peace, I want peace. I want to guard my territory. but Russia is coming in anyways, right? Does Russia really want peace? If Russia wanted peace, all they would have to do is go back home. But no, Russia doesn't want to go back home. Russia's not interested in peace. So Donald Trump is playing the game, playing the Russian game. He's on Team Russia. Understand, Donald Trump is on Team Russia. So he's trying to give Russia legitimacy for his invasion, and he can't do it. He can't do it. I went to the protest on Saturday, the hands-off protest. It was a really nice protest in Salem. It was really good. I went there, right? It was cool. That's the way you stop it. No, that's how you stop the rush. That's how you get peace. Right? That's the way you get peace. The question is, how many dead Russian people does it take to get peace? And Russia has a different calculation. Russia's calculation is, how many dead Ukrainians does it take to get to take land? So it just depends on which equation you're following. Do you follow the Russian equation, which is how many Ukrainians do I have to kill to steal their land? Or do you take the Ukrainian position, which is how many Russians do we have to kill to make them go away, to make them stop? Pretty shitty, right? It's pretty shitty. But if you wanted to end the war, all Russia has to do is go home. So I was at the protest on Saturday. That's right. Now I remember. I was at the protest on Saturday, and I met it was all sorts of people there, and I met a woman who was like the premier, not the premier, the archetypical third party voter. She's a third party voter. She voted third party. She was not happy with Donald Trump. That's why she was at the protest. But she said she was not happy with the Dems either. And she voted third party. And because she's like, the Democrats are no good either. So I voted third party. And I had at the end, she said that she took Russia's side in the war against Ukraine. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I tried to have a conversation with her, a talk with her, and explain to her like what's the deal. Because on a number of aspects we agree, right? We both agree the Democrats are ineffective. We both agree the Republicans are terrible. We both agree that the Democratic Party doesn't necessarily perfectly fit worldviews that are not in line with conservative Democrats, who seem to be the ones who control the party, like Chuck Schumer. So we both agree upon that. What we disagree on is what the solution was. Her solution to the political party, the Democrats not being a perfect fit for her, was to vote for third party. She voted third party in a system that's first past the post. So I'm like, do you even know Duverger's law? I should pull that up real quick. Dude, I can't believe did I not save it? I'm gonna grab it real quick. Oh no. It's in my browser, which I can't get to. Shit. See? Here, what if I do it like this? Options. Video settings. Window. Okay, apply. Let's see. Yes. I have my browser. Okay, I can undo this. Ooh, I did it. Okay. You're seeing my options too, which is good. Good. Voyage's law. But I'm gonna save this one too. Snip. New. Oh no. Where'd the snip go? Under here. I can't get it because it's underneath. Okay, I'm gonna grab it real quick. Move it across over here. New. Bop. Then I'm gonna save it. .406, that's today. That's today. DDD. Law. Okay, and then full screen borderless. Back. Her solution was to vote third party, but that doesn't work because we live in a first past the post system. What is first past the post? First past the post says that it doesn't matter how many candidates there are, you only get one vote. You only can vote for one, and it only goes one time. That's it. You get one vote no matter how many candidates there are, and then that's it. And all we do is we count up the votes at the end, and whoever has the most votes is the winner. But that system is bad. That's the first past the post system. That's our current system. That system is bad. Why? Because it defaults to two parties. You have to have two parties. If all you're trying to do is get the most votes with only one round, you only have one round, there's only one vote, and you're trying to get the most of them, then you're going to try to make the biggest, broadest platform possible to get as many people on your side as possible. So that means the other side is going to be pretty much the opposite of what your side is, because you're just trying to get the most people on your side. So you can't be very nuanced, because you're not trying to get nuanced, you're trying to get the most people. And what ends up happening is, if someone tries to be a third party in this system, all they're doing is gonna, like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Here, listen what Duverger's law says. Duverger's law. In political science, Duverger's law holds that in political systems with single-member districts and first-past-the-post voting system, as in, for example, the United States and Britain, only two powerful political parties tend to control power. Citizens don't vote for small parties because they fear splitting votes away from the majority party. In contrast, in countries with proportional representation or two-round elections, such as France, Sweden, or Spain, there is no two-party duopoly on power. What happens when you vote for a third party in a two-party system? Well, let's remember the 2024 election. Kamala Harris was the major player for the Democrats. Donald Trump was the major player for the Republicans. Those are the major parties. But you had third parties. You had Jill Stein on the left, and you had Cornel West on the left. And then you had RFK Jr. on the right. Now, if you remember, Donald Trump knows about Duverger's law. He knows that third parties hurt the party that they're closest to. He knows that. So he is on tape praising Jill Stein and Cornel West. Because why? Because Jill Stein and Cornel West are closer to the Democrats than they are to the Republicans. So any votes they take, Cornel West and Jill Stein, only weaken the Democrats. Conversely, Donald Trump is on tape saying that he didn't like JFK Jr. because JFK Jr. was closer to Donald Trump, or RFK Jr. RFK Jr. was closer to Donald Trump than he was to Kamala Harris. So, RFK Jr. would take votes away from Donald Trump. That's why Donald Trump offered RFK Jr. a job in the government if RFK Jr. dropped his candidacy, which RFK Jr. agreed to, because he knows that RFK Jr. was only going to hurt Donald Trump and not Kamala Harris, because we have a first past the post system. Like, I understand, lady, you're pretty upset with the Democrats, but voting third party is not the smart way to take care of it. Because when you vote third party in a first past the post system, all you do is help the Nazis. That's all you do. If you vote for a third in our current system, that's all that happens. I understand where your heart is. I get it. But all you do, it's the logic. It's like, I don't know, I've never seen a Saw movie, like Saw. I've never seen it. I've never seen one because I'm not really into horror movies and gore. But I understand the premise in which people are put into situations where there's either the bad option or the worst option. Like, there's no good option. Like, that's in the first past the post system, that's the room we're in. We're in that room. You either take the bad option or the worst option. There's no good option. Voting for a third party in a first past the post system gives you the worst option possible. It's a trap. If you want to get out of this situation, then you need to implement something called ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting is a way to empower the voter. The voter, instead of voting just for one person one time, now the voter gets to rank all the people or none of the people. If you would never vote for Republicans, just don't rank them. It's easy. So if you hate the Republicans but don't like the Democrats, but think Jill Stein or Cornel West are okay, in a ranked choice voting system, you can go ahead and vote for Cornel West, number 1. And you can vote for Jill Stein, number 2. And you can finally vote for the Democrats, number 3. And never vote for the Republicans. So no matter what, you never help the Republicans. Never. And you can vote for who you really want to without hurting the people you don't mind. Like, because if you can't have Cornel West, you would prefer Kamala Harris to Donald Trump if you can't have the one you want the most. So that's what happens in the first past in the ranked choice voting. What you do is, if your number 1 choice doesn't make it, because in ranked choice voting, what happens is everyone ranks. Then you count everyone's number 1 choice. And if amongst 5 people nobody has 50% plus 1, the majority, if nobody has the majority, then what you do is you find the lowest number 1 and you eliminate them. You say, sorry, Cornel West, like, hardly anyone voted for you, so you lose your votes. But those votes don't disappear into the ether. They are moved to the number 2 choice. Now, if I can't have Cornel West, I vote Jill Stein. So all of Cornel West's votes are reallocated to their number 2. And then you count their votes again. And you see, does anyone have 50% plus 1? No? Then you find the lowest one and you cut them off. Sorry, Jill Stein. Or, sorry, RFK Jr., we're going to cut you off. Boom. So all of RFK Jr.'s votes are reallocated from their number 1 choice or number 2 choice to their number 2 or 3 choice. Their votes don't get lost. Then you go for the next round. Does anyone have over 50%? No? Then you cut off the next one. Sorry, Jill Stein, cut off. So all of Jill Stein's votes, the 1, 2, 3 votes, they all get moved to their next ranked. That's how you do it, and then you count, and then by that point you're gonna have someone 50% plus one. In that way, you can have multiple parties without being constrained by Duverger's law. You break out of the saw room of the first past the post system, and now you can have multiple parties. And now, suppose Kamala Harris wins, but when you look at the House and the Senate, now you don't have just Democrats and Republicans. Now you have Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, Greens, Progressives, all sorts of groups, right? And what happens is no one has enough to take control of the Senate unless some parties make a deal. And now you're going to have coalition building. All right, Democrats don't have enough. We're the biggest group, but we don't have enough parties enough people to take control of the Senate. But if we make a deal with the Progressives and the Greens, then we'll have enough votes to take control of the government. What is it going to take? What does the Democrats have to give to the Progressives and the Greens in order to get their support for the government? The Progressives will say, well, we want a cap. We want to remove the cap from Social Security so that billionaires have to pay into Social Security. That way, we don't have to cut benefits. Instead, we can increase benefits. And the Greens say, I want to remove subsidies from oil and replace them with solar power. And then the Democrats would be like, all right, I don't really want to do that, but since I can't do it without your help, okay, fine. I'll agree to your demands in exchange for your support in getting our guys to control the government. Wow! Now we have multiple parties in the United States that are viable. We have multiple third parties in the United States that are viable, that exist without harming your own interests. We have broken out of the saw room. This was my dream. This is what I was hoping would happen at the end of 2024. That Kamala Harris would win, and that we would implement ranked choice voting all over the country and break out of our trap. That's just causing us to hate one another. Like this room is not good for us. This first past the post saw room in which we're all fucking bound in, it's not useful for anybody. We got to get out of here. The way you get out of here is ranked choice voting. Okay, the other thing. Now I'm going to go to the world. USA, Mexico. The other thing I want to talk about is NATO. NATO. What is NATO? NATO is an alliance between members. They all agree. They all bound. These individual countries agreed willingly of their own volition. They weren't coerced. They weren't invaded. They none of that. They willingly did this because they felt it's in their best interests. They entered into this agreement that says if anybody attacks one of us, they attack all of us. So that's called mutual defense. Why did NATO come into existence? Because on the east, the Russians became the USSR, the Soviet Republic, the Soviets. They were an alternative to the liberal world of democracy, of liberalism. It was the alternative. Under socialism, there was no free speech, no free association. The press was controlled by the state, so that you didn't have free thought. Like, everything was controlled. Everything was... And as opposed to the West, where you had individual countries who determined their own... The people determined their own futures by voting their representatives into government. It was a democracy. So the democracies didn't want to get sucked into the blob that was the USSR, because people suffered under the USSR, under Russian rule. So they banded together to make NATO. So let's show. I'm gonna. I have that map. I brought it up on purpose, and it's gone. No, it's not. It's right there. So here's a map of NATO. So we can see here from this map, the original members of NATO were France, Belgium, the Netherlands, the UK, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Portugal, Italy. And then Germany joined in 1952 or 5. Because you remember, like all these countries right here, even half of Germany, all those countries were under Soviet control. The Russians took over all this land. They literally took it over. So Ukraine, you see, was in there. They were taken over by the USSR. And their people were starved to death and murdered. They call it the I forgot the name of it, but it was a mass starvation that perpetuated by Russia against the Ukrainian people. It was an effort to like ethnically cleanse the eastern side so that Russia could repopulate it with Russians. Like it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up to live under the Russians. All right, but when the USSR fell, when the Russia control finally broke on all these countries, they all joined the NATO in 1952, 55, 82, 90, 99, 2004, and 2009. So 2004 was Romania and Bulgaria, and then the Baltic nations, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. So that was the last time Russia or NATO expanded eastward over the former countries that were formerly under the USSR. They were not free. They had to break free. So you notice that Ukraine, Belarus, Finland were not in NATO. So the only borders that NATO had with Russia was right here with Estonia, Latvia, and well, technically also with Poland, because this right here, that's called Kaliningrad, and that little spot is Russian controlled. So that's and then up here, this little tiny sliver with Norway. That's the only places that Russia had contact with NATO. But then Russia invaded Ukraine and took over the eastern part of Ukraine and took over Crimea. After Russia invaded Ukraine, Finland and Sweden joined NATO. And now Ukraine wants to join NATO. Why? Because nobody wants to get invaded by the Russians. It's easy. So there was not so Russia, Putin wants to say, "Oh, I had to invade Ukraine because of NATO." That's bullshit. You can't believe anything that Putin says. Putin's a fucking liar. He used to be KGB, guys. I mean, that woman that I spoke to was an older woman, so she knows what the KGB is. She knows what the USSR is. Why would you believe them? Why would you believe them? Why? Like, you know better. Like, the 80s isn't that far away. Come on. Alright. Here, let's talk about bases, right? Because that was the other thing she said. She's like, oh, Putin had to respond because all the NATO bases are all over him. Look where the bases are. All the Russian bases are right on the border of NATO. Here, that's Ukraine. This is Ukraine. And that's Belarus. And this is Lithuania, Latvia, and what was that other one? Here. Estonia. Right? So right on the border of NATO, right on the border of NATO, right on the border, all the Russian bases. Look where all the NATO bases are. Way the fuck back here in the OG, in the original NATO countries. That's where all the NATO bases are. Now there's a base in Poland. But it's still not near it's not near Russia. So it's bullshit that when Putin says he had to invade. It's bullshit. Why would you believe Putin? So now you understand why it's such a big deal that Donald Trump switched sides to Russia. Because Russia wants to take over all of Europe. Yeah, I can't believe I had to talk to an older woman to dispel Russian propaganda. I can't believe it. But I was at the, I was at the protest on April 5th at Salem. It was big. I heard 1,500 people were there. Yeah, it was huge. It's a lot of good energy. It was nice. More coffee. Coffee. Oh, I have none. I have to make it. All right, I'll keep talking. Right? Keep talking. But all of this sounds kind of quaint. It's weird that I have to like do a refresh on NATO now that NATO seems to be like severely weakened. Donald Trump really fucked up NATO. Oh, that's right. So I talked about how Donald Trump is like on Team Russia. Donald Trump is on Team Russia. He's on Team Russia since like the 80s. And all this talk doing about invading Greenland and invading Canada is like how Putin talks about invading Georgia, the Russian country he invaded, and Ukraine, another country. Georgia is his own country. The Russia invaded it. The country near Russia that Russia invaded, and Ukraine, the country near Russia that Russia invaded. Russia invades its neighbors. That's what Russia does. And so the United States Donald Trump is talking like Putin, the way he wants to invade his neighbors. And also part of destroying the United States is wrecking the United States economy. The way you do that, the way he did it was by placing tariffs on all our trading partners to wreck our economy. And that's what's going to happen, and that's what's happening. Change in global stock indexes since inauguration day. So imagine that this is the pulse of the West. Right? All these people, except for China, all of them are Western allies. United States, Japan, Canada, UK, Germany, they're all Western allies. And ever since Donald Trump took office, the United States economy has tanked. Now, I can't show this to a Magog, a follower of Magog. I cannot show them because they can't see it. It doesn't matter. They can't see it. But I can show everyone else that Donald Trump has been terrible for the West. So you can see how Donald Trump is an agent for Russia. China's like trucking along, doing just fine. Like Germany is falling because Germany's tied to the West, but yeah, China is okay. Um, Here's the change in stock prices since April 3rd, which is 3 days ago. The United States has lost almost 5%. Japan lost almost 3%. Europe lost 2.5%. The UK lost 1.5%. China's barely touched, like 0.6%. So this is this tariff war that Donald Trump is waging is only against his own America's allies. That's it. That's it. Just the West. In fact, he didn't even put tariffs on Russia or Iran. But he put tariffs on uninhabited islands. Pictured the place which is, according to Trump White House, apparently imposing 10% tariffs on the United States. No lack of any human settlements there. So this is McDonald Island. Heard Island and McDonald Islands, right? Donald Trump put a 10% put a tariff on them because Donald Trump says this island has a 10% tariff on the United States. Nobody lives there. There's nothing there. Why did that happen? Why? Because Donald Trump didn't actually go through and look at who's putting tariffs on us. Instead, he put it all into a fucking AI. And the AI turned around and spat out a response. And then he took out Russia and Iran. But he kept everything else. All these uninhabited islands. So Donald Trump is like the downfall of the United States. He's an agent of Russia. Not an agent, but he's an asset. He helps Russia. And hurts the West. Hurts the rest of us. But you can't tell that to followers of Magog because they literally can't comprehend it. So the other thing is what's happening. AFRICOM Commander General Langley tells senators that China is trying to replicate U.S. aid programs in Africa as the U.S. scales back U.S. aid. They're trying to use that as an extension of the Belt and Road Initiative to gain favor by the African countries, Langley said. In other words, the United States curried favor with African nations through its aid program, U.S. aid. That's called soft power, because then those African nations are more likely to assist the United States in other diplomatic efforts. However, the Trump criminal regime unilaterally killed U.S. aid. Unilaterally. It didn't ask Congress's opinion. It just did it. It just killed the aid. And it got sued, and it's losing. But it doesn't matter because those programs are gone. Now that they're gone, China is stepping in to fill the void. So instead of these African nations cooperating with the United States on diplomatic efforts, now they're going to want to cooperate with China because China's the one working with them to fulfill humanitarian needs. China's the one doing it, not the United States. Donald Trump represents a withdrawal of the United States from the world stage. We're pulling back. We're coming back in. We're sucking in. We're looking like Tokugawa's Japan under Tokugawa. Japan under Tokugawa was hyper-isolationist. They did not have trade with anybody. They stayed sequestered inside themselves. So the whole world advanced far beyond what they were doing because they had trade with nobody. So they got no new ideas, no new fads. They didn't influence the world. The world didn't influence them. They had no say. Like, it was just going along without them. That's what's going to happen to us. So if you look at the economy like a like the internet. The internet is the market for information. It's the method by which information flows. What happens when a nation implements censorship in a nation? So suppose a nation creates a censorship. What is censorship? Censorship is a block of a stop. It stops the flow of information. But what does the internet do when it encounters a block of what it does is it routes around it. It routes around it. It looks for ways around the block to go around the block so that information can continue to flow even though the block is there. That's what's going to happen to the United States. The United States is creating a block by implementing tariffs. So any commerce flowing to the United States encounters resistance, which is the tariff. However, this doesn't exist in other countries. There's no tariffs in the EU. There's no tariffs in China. There's no tariffs. There's no tariffs in the UAE. There's none. There's no tariffs in Moscow. So if you want to do business, you want to route around the damage of the United States. So all you do is you just move your system away from the United States and onto like something like the yuan, the Chinese yuan, the RMB, renminban. Renminban or something like that. I don't remember. RMB, the yuan. That's all, right? That's all. You can go ahead and keep your little tariffs. Everyone else is going to continue to do business around you. Wow, dude. It's like the United States basically committed suicide. I mean, yeah. it hasn't sunk in yet. Right? It takes a little while. But that's what happened. The United States committed suicide. It chopped off its own head. Because there's a lot of followers of Magog. They wear it on their heads. So Chris Murphy, Cribben, Sarah Kendzior. All right. Those trying to understand the tariffs as economic policy are dangerously naive. No, the tariffs are a tool to collapse our democracy, a means to compel loyalty from every business that will need to petition Trump for relief, to explain his plan and how we fight back. This week, you will read many confused economists and political pundits who don't understand how the tariffs make economic sense. That's because they don't. They aren't designed as economic policy. The tariffs are simply a new, super dangerous political tool. You see, our founders created a president with limited and checked powers. They specifically put the powers of spending and taxation in the hands of the legislature. Why? Because they watched how kings and despots used spending and taxes to control their subjects. British kings used taxation to reward loyalty and punish dissent. Our own revolution was spurred by the king's use of heavy taxation of the colonies to punish our push for self-governance. The king's message was simple: stop protesting and I'll stop taxing. Trump knows that he can weaken and maybe destroy democracy by using spending and taxation in the same way. He is using access to government funds to bully universities, law firms, and state and local governments into loyalty pledges. Healthy democracies rely on an independent legal profession to maintain the rule of law, independent universities to guard objective truth and provide forums for dissent to authority, and independent state and local government to counterbalance a powerful federal government. Number 7. But the private sector also plays a role to protect democracy. Independent industry has power. The tariffs are Trump's tools to erode that independence. Now, one by one, every industry or company will need to pledge loyalty to Trump in order to get sanctions relief. What could Trump demand as part of a quiet loyalty pledge? Public shows of support from executives for all of his economic policy, contributions to his political efforts, promises to police employees support for his political opposition. The tariffs are designed to create economic hardship. Why? So that Trump has a straight-faced rationale for releasing them, business by business, or industry by industry. As he adjusts or grants relief, it's a win-win. The economy improves and dissent disappears. And once Trump has the lawyers, colleges, and industry under his thumb, it becomes very hard for the opposition to have any viable space to maneuver. Trump didn't invent this strategy. It's the playbook for democratically elected leaders who want to stay in power forever. The tariffs aren't economic policy. They are political weapons. But as long as we see this clearly, we can stop him. Public mobilization is working. Today, a few Republicans joined Democrats to vote against one set of tariffs. The people still have the power. Yeah, but we have to guard that power jealously, because it's going to be tested, and we can't rely on converting followers of Magog, because they literally can't see it. Their brains have a block in them where they can't process it. So we're going to have to route around the damage to keep the flow going. Stop all your efforts, your outreach efforts to white people, because it's not going to work. Instead, find the people, not even to white people, but to people who follow Donald Trump. Don't even try it. Don't even try, right? They literally can't see you. They can't. They have a brain damage or something. They can't process it. Instead, go after the people whose spirits have been broken. They don't vote because they don't feel like they matter. They don't vote because they don't want to vote for the lesser of two evils. You have to explain to them that there's a way out of that vote for lesser of two evils thing. But you can't get there unless you take control here first. And the way you do that is you vote for the Democrats. Until we defeat the first past the post system, you have to vote for the Democrats in this moment, at this time. Maybe not forever, but for now. Yeah. Go after the non-voter. Donald Trump, U.S. economy. Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding. So for the youngins, this is the lead up for the Olympics, and Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding were both skaters for the U.S. Olympics, but Tanya Harding thought that Nancy Kerrigan was better and was going to beat her. So Tanya Harding arranged for her boyfriend or her husband to go in and literally attack Nancy Kerrigan with a crowbar to her knee to fuck up her or to mess up her knee so she couldn't compete, and that Tanya Harding would win, take her place. So this is what's going on, right? Donald Trump is literally taking a crowbar to the knees of the U.S. economy so that he can get control of the it's a fascist play to take control of the U.S. economy, because he's gonna say, I'm not gonna make it better for you unless you pledge loyalty to me. Yeah, dude. I mean, like, we knew it was gonna be bad. We knew fascism was coming when Donald Trump took power, and you're not gonna be able to talk to the Magog people because they can't they don't have the capacity to understand. You got to convince the people who've given up to re-engage. Because there's a lot of them. Yeah, look what you did. Look Donald Trump did. South Korea, Japan, and China meet to strengthen ties at turning point in history. The trilateral meeting in Tokyo is an accomplishment for Japan, which has historical and territorial disputes with China and South Korea. So these guys hate each other. South Korea, Japan, and China all hate each other for historical reasons. They hate each other. But now they're working together in response to Donald Trump placing tariffs on them. That's an example of routing around damage. It's not that Donald Trump is going to get these countries to bend the knee to Donald Trump. It's that they're just going to make deals amongst themselves and tell the U.S. to fuck off. Like, he may be able to do that kind of shit to, like, U.S. companies, but he can't do it to other countries. They're just going to make new deals amongst themselves and cut the U.S. out. Yeah, this is the scary thing. Signalgate. When the information got out about all the U.S. war plans to bomb Yemen, when it got now it runs like shit. They excused it by saying, "Oh, well, that wasn't classified." But then a judge asked, "Hey, what time did you send the like, I ordered you not to send these migrants overseas. You were supposed to not do that. But you did it anyways. So I want to know, what time did the plane take off relative to me giving the order to not send the plane off?" And the government said, "We can't tell you because it's a state secret." So in other words, the Trump administration disobeyed a judge's order, and they're covering it up by calling it a state secret. Meanwhile, the Trump administration leaked top secret information on a commercial chat app meant to get around transparency laws and recording laws. And when they got caught, they said, "Oh, that wasn't a state secret." Like, Donald Trump is just like, they're terrible. They're like enemies of the United States. They're gonna destroy us. But you, I mean, you guys know this, right? The only people who don't know this are followers of Magog, and that's because you can't explain it to them. They just don't get it. They may be nice people, but they're followers of Magog. They're bad people. They may be nice, but they're bad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. keep protesting. That's something you can do, because the protests will energize non-voters, will engage them. Like, you have to break through the media. That's kind of hard. But if you can get a non-voter or a disillusioned voter to go to a protest, they'll feel energized again and re-engage. Like, everyone wants to say protests are worthless. No, dude, protests are fun. It's like having a party. Protests are great. And they work because they re-energize people and get them engaged again in the political process. That's what you need to re-energize democracy. Get non-voters to go to these protests. Make it a party. Don't be so dour about it, man. It's a party to re-energize us. It's great. I really had fun at the last protest. Like, that's what it's about, having fun. I mean, yeah, it's for a serious cause, but a good cause. And you can have fun and engage in a good cause at the same time. You can do it. You can do it. I don't want to finish the rest of my slides because I'm tired. But you get the picture. All right, America, hang in there, right? We can pull out of this. We can pull it out. We can, like, take over the cockpit and like pull out, or at least crash this race, like crash the monstrosity before it goes out of control. Like, either way, we either take control of it or crash it before it destroys the world. We can do it. So until next time, America, peace. Pogo Kiddo out. Stop.